Right now, the state health department reports nearly 41% of people in Arkansas 12 and up are fully vaccinated. It still puts Arkansas near the bottom, though, compared to other states. The need to improve that number is underscored by the rise in hospitalizations over the weekend. 70 more people were admitted to the hospital since Friday. 44 new hospitalizations were reported just yesterday. So here are the numbers from the weekend. Another 19 Arkansans lost their lives to the virus. We added more than 5,000 new cases on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And right now, more than 15,000 people are known to have the virus in our state. As COVID cases and hospitalizations continue to increase, we are seeing some good news. The vaccine rate finally starting to increase, and we're hitting a milestone set by the governor a week ahead of schedule. On May 4th, Governor Hutchinson set a goal for the state to have 50% of all eligible Arkansans vaccinated within the next 90 days. Well, next Monday would have been 90 days, but we reached that goal over the weekend. This afternoon, just over 51% of eligible Arkansans have at least one dose of the vaccine. For a majority of the 90 days, vaccine hesitancy, mainly across the younger population, stopped Arkansans from getting vaccinated. However, local pharmacists say that with the uptake in cases, they're seeing more people coming in to either get vaccinated or ask questions about the shot.
You know, out of every 30 people, I'd say 10 of those have a good amount of questions they want to ask. I think a lot of people see, whether it's kids, whether it's friends, healthy adults that are being hospitalized.
Over the last 3 days alone, the state has seen a big jump in doses given out, with nearly 32,700 doses given out. That's a 36% increase over the same 3-day span last week. Now, it is important to note for anyone with just one dose, health experts continue to stress the second shot remains vital in securing the most safety against the more contagious Delta variant. In just 2 days, a new law banning mask mandates will go into effect in Arkansas. That's despite the fact that the law is facing opposition from some lawmakers and parents. Several parents are planning to file a lawsuit against the state, arguing the law is unconstitutional. Meanwhile, a group of Pulaski County Democrats sent a letter to the governor last week asking for a special session to amend that law. Senator Joyce Elliott is one of the 12 Democrats who signed the letter.
Kids deserve better than this. Parents deserve better than this, and the whole state does. And somebody has to do everything we can to get the ball rolling.
Sunday on CNN's State of the Union, Governor Hutchinson said the ban on mask mandates is something that could change between now and when school starts. But the governor says that will depend on our state's vaccination rate and whether lawmakers convene a session to consider changing the law. New projections show COVID cases nationwide will likely continue to rise over the next few months, peaking in mid-October. Health experts say the surge is being fueled by the Delta variant and unvaccinated Americans. As of last week, more than 97% of people admitted to the hospital for the disease had not gotten the vaccine. CBS's David Begnaud spoke with several patients at St. Dominic Jackson Memorial Hospital in Mississippi, the state with the lowest vaccination rate in the country.
This is William Ball. Alicia is his wife.
How badly has COVID ravaged his body?
Extremely bad.
He is 52, no longer infectious, but he's too sick to go home. He had a heart attack at the end of June and then contracted COVID 9 days later.
There will be people who watch this who don't think the virus is serious.
We didn't either at first. I'm not gonna lie. We had no idea.
Edward Clifton is 38. When he showed up sick with COVID at the hospital, he didn't even know that he had underlying conditions, kidney failure and diabetes. He too is unvaccinated.
Well, I want to tell everybody, please take the shot.
This virus is no joke. If you want to feel really, really horrible, this is a great way to do it. Trust me.
45-year-old Larry Smoke is also a diabetic, and he had a heart attack 4 years ago. He says a week after he got his first Pfizer shot, he started showing symptoms for COVID-19.
Even people that got both doses, if they have underlying conditions, we don't know if they got a full antibody response. So their immune system may be weakened. So it's making us even come back and question, should we be giving booster doses now to those with underlying medical conditions?
Back in William Ball's room, a doctor was called to determine if William was having another heart attack. His wife spoke for him.
He will get the vaccine when he gets out of the hospital.
When he said, I want that vaccine, tell me what you're thinking.
He's got to get out of the hospital first.
Here in Mississippi, it's like deja vu all over again. We are at St. Dominic's in Jackson, where they have canceled visitations for COVID patients. They've gone back to those FaceTime visits only. They have 59 COVID patients today, and the first week of May, they had 2. 91% of the people dying here in the state of Mississippi due to COVID are unvaccinated. David Begnaud, CBS News, Jackson, Mississippi.
Happening today, the Little Rock School District will hold a board meeting to hear from parents on a proposed mask resolution. Tonight's virtual meeting is set for 5:30. If you'd like to speak at the meeting, there is a link to sign up online, but you must submit a request by 1 p.m. You have less than an hour now. You can find that link on our website, thv11.com or at lrsd.org. Also happening today, as the summer heat picks up, the Central Arkansas Development Council is starting its summer LIHEAP Utility Assistance Program. The program will offer help with electric bills only. Both regular and crisis assistance options are available. Again, the program starts today. If you'd like to apply or find out more info, you can visit cadc.com. Senate negotiators worked through the weekend hoping to finalize an infrastructure bill to repair America's roads and bridges. Both sides say they are down to the final few items that need to be figured out. Skylar Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
A bipartisan group of senators negotiating the infrastructure bill agreed that they're close, but the timeline for a deal is still up in the air.
I feel good about getting that done this week.
The holdup remains how to pay for some of the items in the $579 billion bill.
We have one issue outstanding, and we're not getting much response from the Democrats on it. It's about mass transit.
A Democratic source says they sent Republicans an offer last night to finish the unresolved issues, including mass transit.
We're down to the last couple of items, and I think you're going to see a bill Monday afternoon.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants this bill to be done before the Senate goes on a 5-week recess beginning August 9th. But both sides say they're optimistic because America's roads and bridges are in bad condition.
People want us to invest in our infrastructure. If you step back, we have actually are investing at about half the rate that we invested in our infrastructure as we did in the 1990s.
It's the right thing to do for the country, most importantly.
Still, many Republicans say the bill costs too much money.
We're running at a 25-year high rate of inflation, and it's not a mystery as to why. A big part of the reason is a massive expansion of the money supply. We've expanded the money supply the most since World War II.
While some Democrats in the House say they may not vote for the infrastructure bill because it doesn't go far enough. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The White House and Senate Democrats are pushing ahead with a $3.5 trillion budget resolution that they hope will get progressive Democrats to sign off on the bipartisan infrastructure deal.